Good morning, children. Hope everyone are doing good. In this lesson, we will discuss about components of food, chapter 2, grade 6. So here we will discuss about what are nutrients, different components of food, tests for starch, protein and fats. Three major things will be discussed in detail: balanced diet, deficiency disease. Okay, shall we get into the lesson? Here, let us have a short recap of what we learned in Chapter 1. We discussed about sources of food, how plants help us in producing the food materials, how the energy is stored in the different form as fruit, root, and the different parts of the plant, and how we are utilizing it. Also, we did see what do animals eat. We categorized animals based on their eating habits like herbivores, carnivores, and omnivores. And then we also saw the special features, how these animals are distinguished. Yes, we also discussed about scavengers and decomposers. Before getting into the lesson, we need to understand the term nutrients to learn more in detail. Nutrients are the chemical substances that the body needs for energy, building materials, and control of body processes. So, on daily basis, we take many different types of food items, right? We do not consume the same type of food on daily basis. Even like in morning, we will have a different type of food. Afternoon, it's different, and for the dinner, it's different. Yes, we will not consume the same food, and the ingredients added on to it is entirely different. So what do these ingredients consist of? They consist of certain kind of substances, chemical substances that helps in nourishing the body, which is required by the body. So nutrients are nothing but these are the substances which is required by the body for its growth and development. All right. So let us see what are the components involved in it. Carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, minerals, water, and dietary fiber. Dietary fiber is nothing but roughage. We will discuss about it in lesson. Nutrients are classified into three major categories: energy giving food, bodybuilding food, protective food. So here when we look onto this picture, we can easily categorize here like energy giving food, carbohydrates and fats come under energy giving food, bodybuilding food, proteins, protective food, vitamins and minerals, as they protect us from all the disease causing agents. So it gives protection to our body. So here like proteins, they help in building up the muscles. Here carbohydrates and fats, they give energy for the body. All right. Depending upon the necessity, the nutrients are divided into two major categories like macronutrients and micronutrients. So here let us see what are the categories that comes under macronutrients. Carbohydrates, proteins, fats. These are macronutrients because it is required by the body more when compared to the micronutrients. So the macro it's more, micro is less. So this is how we categorize. So these are the necessities of the body, how much it is required for it to be utilized in the body. Micronutrients, minerals and vitamins come under micronutrients. So they are not much required, but they are required for the body. All right. So they are comparing the quantity. They are dividing it into two major categories like macronutrients and micronutrients. These are the necessities. All right. Now let us see the first type of nutrient, carbohydrates. Okay, we might have heard this term in common in advertisement. Yes, nowadays we are seeing more advertisement for like Pediasure or Complan or Horlicks. They're using this kind of term much. Yes, like proteins, many nutritious products we are introducing, they're saying. So these carbohydrates is a type of a nutrients. Let's see about it. Carbohydrates gives energy to a body. So always just remember carbohydrates, it's an energy giving product. All right, energy giving food item. So the carbohydrates are categorized into two major categories like sugar and starch. There are many different forms of carbohydrates. Here we will discuss about sugar and starch. So what is the difference between these two things? Let's see. Sugar, it is a simple carbohydrate and a quick source of energy. Okay, some natural sources of sugar are fruits and honey. It is a simple carbohydrate. They are dividing as like simple and complex. Okay, so every product as we see, so here in the backdrop you can see like rice. I have given one example. All right, so these rice particle we are cooking and then we are just taking it along with the other ingredients, so it is not going as a direct ingredient at times. Yes, so it has to get breaked up into smaller particles that has to be absorbed by the body. So they are just categorizing into two categories like simple and complex. So when we see the next term we can understand it very easily. Starch, it is a complex carbohydrate made of several sugar particles like linked together. It is found in rice, wheat, maize, and potatoes. These are some few examples, not all I have given. All right. So here a simple form of carbohydrate and complex form of carbohydrate. This complex form has to divide into many categories and then it forms as a sugar molecules. These sugar molecules further divide into a simpler compound like glucose, where it is very easy for the particles, glucose particles, to be absorbed by the bloodstream to be taken to the different parts of the body. This is how it is designed. All right, so here we need to understand the sugar and the starch both come under the category carbohydrates. All right, so here that is what I have given. These sugar molecules gets breaked up into like glucose, simpler form of it. Okay, there are many different forms of sugar. I have just given the glucose here. These glucose is taken into the cells of the body. Okay, our body is made up of cells, different types of cells, because each and every part of the body performs each and different functions, but all the cells in the body needs glucose, okay, in order to provide energy for us. So that is the reason we are just breathing in oxygen. Okay, we are taking food items. Both are required by the cell because we are made up of cell. Even a patch of skin, if you're going to take and keep it under the microscope, you can understand it is made up of thousands of cells. So these cells has to survive. So that is the reason we are taking food. All right. Let's discuss about the very interesting thing, test for carbohydrates. So here we will do some kind of test to identify whether the carbohydrates is present in that particular food item. All right. So in order to do this, the requirements are test tube, dropper, solutions of iodine, and food item. Okay. So this is a test tube you might have not seen. Okay, some might have seen and some might have not seen. Okay, in the laboratory we can use this kind of test tube to test many samples. So this is a test tube. It varies in different size. All right, and this is called as dropper. It just tries to pull the liquid and then drop it into the container wherever it is required. You might have seen in a small syrup for babies. Yes, those who have not seen in lab or in hospitals, that is the best example I can give. And here iodine solution. Okay, this is one of the chemical solution which will help us to identify whether the food item contains carbohydrate. And here I have just taken a picture of rice. So that is the best example we can give for carbohydrates, wheat, and we can just take wheat, flour, whatever it is. Okay, any sample that we can take for testing purpose. Now see here, it is just a picture I have just taken how to take the iodine solution and drop it on the food particle. They are using a different food item over here. Okay, and they are just dropping this iodine solution. And here also you can see there are different food items they have kept. All right, like sugar cubes, potato. All right, they have potato contains more amount of starch. All right, so this particular experiment is to identify the starch, presence of starch in this food item. So here, can you just look on what they're pointing? Can you see the change of color? What we have to do is we have to just take the food item in the test tube, and then we have to take the iodine solution through the dropper, and then you have to add the iodine solution to this test tube. Directly you can do like this, but if you're going to do with the help of the test tube, it will be very safe. Okay, you can add. So the color change will happen. A blue-black color indicates that it contains starch. So when you get this blue-black color, can you identify here, here and here? So this color indicates that it contains carbohydrate. This food item is rich in carbohydrate. Even here you can see it. Here's on potato. If it doesn't give that particular color, then you can make sure that food item doesn't have carbohydrate much in amount. All right. So this is how we are just doing a test to confirm the presence of starch. Let us discuss about fats. What are fats? The main function of the fat is to provide additional energy and keep us warm. Okay, these are fat are like the particles which are stored in the tissues underneath the skin layer, and this helps us keeping body warm all the time. All right, so this is how we are able to maintain the temperature of the body, and it is very helpful, and it gives more amount of additional energy. Okay, it is stored always. Fats are divided into two major categories. One is saturated fat and the other one is unsaturated fat. Saturated fats are solid at room temperature. This is how we are identifying it. So some examples are given here. Animal products. Okay, see, these are all like animal products. So where do we get milk from? From the animal, cow, goat. Yes, animal products, and also from certain plant food items like coconut oil, palm oil. And when talking about like animal products, look at the picture, you can see like butter, cheese, ghee, yes, milk, and here fish, certain fish, yes, and meat item, all these things are present here. So these things have more amount of saturated fat, where these saturated fats are identified that they are solid at room temperature. Next, unsaturated fat. Unsaturated fats are liquid at room temperature. Okay, and these are found in foods like fish, okay, olives, and also like here you can see the picture olive oil, and separately like olives, avocados, nuts and butters, and fishes, especially salmon, tuna, mackerel. All these things contain more amount of unsaturated fats. All right, and here also it gives like vegetable oils. Okay, so this is a major difference between saturated and unsaturated. Taking more amount of saturated might lead to obesity at times. So while when we take unsaturated fats, it helps us to maintain the body weight. All right, let us see the test for fats. So we can identify the food particles contains fats or not. So the requirements are very simple things: filter paper or a normal paper, food sample. Food sample, in sense, we know we did see some examples what are the food items that contains fats. So you can take any one of the food sample like butter, ghee. That is a very simple thing that will be there always in the kitchen. All right, so you can just take any food sample, and then what you have to do is you have to just crush the food sample in the paper. All right, you have to crush it, and then after some time just try to observe it carefully and look at this picture. You can just see two different things. Yes, so any food item will contain, okay, some of the food item will contain water. So if it is gonna be a water, you will get patches, but it will get dried after some time. And if it is like a fat rich food, the patch that is formed on the sheet of paper, it will not go. Okay, so this is how we can identify. It is a very simple method we are just letting you know. All right, even you can just try at home even now after watching the video. All right, just take a paper, just keep the sample of the food and then crush it and then leave it aside for some time. So if it is gonna be like a water droplets, because if you're gonna have some rice, cooked rice, If you're gonna smash it, yes, definitely the water droplets will be there on the paper, but it doesn't mean it's a oil or it's a fat content, okay, because it is a carbohydrate. So here, if it is gonna be any food item that has fats in it, what will happen? Definitely you will be able to see some oil drop or patches will be seen. So with this you can identify that the food material is rich in fats. Okay, so consuming too much of fat leads to a condition called obesity. Obesity is nothing but overweight. Okay, your body, you should be able to maintain the body weight. It should not be overweight. The body weight, it is calculated depending upon your height. Okay, height and the body weight should be equal. So if something gonna be altered, all right, then it is called as, the condition is called as obesity, overweight. Because if you being like overweight, definitely there will be more complications in the body. We will not be able to do the work as usual. All right, so we can just plan our diet accordingly. Now the next nutrient that we're going to discuss is about proteins. Okay, and even this is a very common term that we are hearing it on day to day process. So what are proteins? Proteins are macromolecules formed by many amino acids. A total of 20 different amino acids exist in proteins. So these terms are extremely new to you, I know. So amino acids are nothing but like the breakdown of the protein particles, all right? So many amino acids join together to form one particular proteins. Alright, in your higher classes, you will learn about the structure of this protein and amino acids as well, and how it is helping our body to build up our body muscles. Next, proteins are often called as bodybuilding foods. They also repair the worn out body parts. So in case where there is some kind of hurt or some kind of disability, yes, at times we are not the same, right? Sometimes we undergo some different kinds of situation where our body will not cooperate. So during that particular time, if you're going to take more amount of protein rich food, definitely it will just help us to repair our body and get back to the same form. Okay, and here you can just look around this picture. What are the protein rich food? The main sources of proteins are meat, eggs, milk, nuts, pulses, beans, and cereals. So see, most of like fish is kept here, meat is kept here, and most of the nuts, yes, milk, all these. And you might wonder, how come milk comes under fat as well as protein? Yes, definitely. All the food items that we intake doesn't contain only one particular nutrient in it. Okay, a particular food item, for example, if we take milk, it contains proteins as well as minerals, also what, fats. Yes, so many things are present in that one particular food item. All right, so this is how the nutrients are distributed in the food materials. All right, so every food particle that we intake doesn't comprise only of carbohydrates or only of minerals or water or like proteins or whatever it is. It is a composition of many chemical compounds in it. So they are distinguished or differentiated depending upon the quantity of these amount present in this particular food item. Okay, that is how we are just distinguishing it. So here the proteins from plant sources such as pulses, beans are called as plant proteins, and the plant proteins which are obtained from the animals like cheese, egg, meat, all these things are called as what? Animal proteins. Okay. So now we will just try to conclude all the three things that we have learned, like carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. All these things are categorized under what? Initially we discussed, right? Those things are categorized under macronutrients, which are much more required in our body. Okay, yes. Let us see a simple test for protein. All right, as we discussed earlier. Now, the basic requirements are food sample in powdered form or well smashed form. Okay, it should not be a solid one, because we're gonna mix it with some solutions. Copper sulfate solution, CuSO4, the molecular formula. Okay, copper sulfate. And look at this picture. This is a copper sulfate. It is in a solution form, okay, liquid form, and it is in a solid form. Some might say copper sulfate color. So this is the copper sulfate blue. So you can identify how bright it is. Caustic soda. Otherwise, it is also called as sodium hydroxide. I have just given the molecular formula of sodium hydroxide. Okay, sodium and hydroxide group, caustic soda. Okay, it is given in the form of liquid here. Next, the test tube. We have already seen what the test tube is like. Dropper, in order to take the liquid and drop it in. All right, now let us discuss what has to be done for this protein test. Now you will have to take the sample food item. Okay, it should be either well smashed or it should be in a powdered form. Take it in a test tube. All right, now after taking it in the test tube, what you have to do, the first thing that you have to add is copper sulfate. Take the dropper. Okay, just take a few drops of copper sulfate solution from the beaker, and then you can just drop it inside the test tube. Okay, like few drops is enough, like almost like 5 to 10 drops is enough. All right, drop it inside this, and then and then shake it well. Okay, shake it well and leave it aside for some time. Okay, like for 3 to 4 minutes. And then what you can do, just take few drops of caustic soda, okay, from the given bottle, and then add it on to the test tube. Already these two contains two chemical compounds, and here now we're gonna add another one, caustic soda, which is called as sodium hydroxide, and then we're gonna check what could be the color change. So here you should get violet color. Okay, this violet color shows that there is proteins present in it. Okay, this shows the presence of protein in the food item. That is what given here. A violet color indicates the presence of proteins in the food item. If you're gonna get any other color, then you can make sure that food item doesn't have any protein content in it. Alright, so this is how we are just confirming whether the food item contains proteins. So now we have just conducted three tests: test for carbohydrates, test for fats, and test for proteins. Alright, now we will discuss about the micronutrients, vitamins. So what are these vitamins? Vitamins helps in protecting a body against various diseases. So this vitamins falls under protecting food, vitamins and minerals. So it helps us from protecting a body from various diseases. Yes, so whenever we go to the doctor will also provide some vitamin tablets. Yes, so why we are provided with the tablets? For example, if a body doesn't have, or if a body have less amount of that particular vitamin, we are taking it in the form of tablets, which is not actually good, but we have to take it in the form of food, which is already given for us. Yes, so if we eat healthy food itself, definitely we can be really healthy. We can avoid the diseases. Next, they help in keeping our eyes, bones, teeth, and gums healthy. Okay, so here we are mentioning certain parts of the body like eyes, bones, teeth, and gums. So vitamins play vital role in protecting all parts of the body, and in specific few parts are given here. Let us see how it plays its vital role in protecting all these organs. The vitamins are be classified as fat soluble and water soluble vitamins. Okay, so there are many different types of vitamins present in our body. There we are categorizing it into two major categories. One is like fat soluble and the other one is like water soluble vitamins. Let's see what are those. Here we can just check out this vitamin wheel. Can you see there are there are different alphabet are given with the numbers here. Yes, so what happens here, these are the different types of vitamin present in the body. A, vitamin B1, vitamin B2, B3, B5, B6, B9, B12, vitamin C, D, E, K. So many vitamins are present in our body, and these vitamins are categorized as fat soluble and water soluble. Now let us see what are fat soluble vitamins from this and what are water soluble vitamins from this. Now let's see what are the fat soluble vitamins. Fat soluble vitamins are A, D, E, and K. Always remember this, okay? A, vitamin D, vitamin E, and vitamin K. These four are fat soluble vitamins. ADEK. Okay, you can just remember like this: A, D, E, K. These vitamins stored in the fat deposits of the body and are used when required by the body. Okay, so looking at this picture, it will be easy for you to classify. See, some food items are given and the name of the vitamins are also given next to it. It is just the pictures given here. We will also discuss what are the food items of these particular vitamins are present. All right. Now, water soluble vitamins. Water soluble vitamins are vitamin B complex and vitamin C. So when they are terming it as B complex, there are many different types of B vitamins present. So they are terming it under one particular term which is called as B complex. Sometimes when we go to the medical shop or to the doctor, he will prescribe B complex vitamin tablets. Yes, because when we take more amount of tablets, our body will not accept it. Certain times it will give some other kind of reaction. So in order to suppress everything, some kind of vitamins has to be taken in. So that is the purpose. They will prescribe vitamin B complex tablets. Okay, so it is always better to have in the form of food, right, instead of taking it in the form of tablets. So what I will advise is always just try to have the healthy food that includes all the vitamins. Okay, so that we can be healthy and we can be away from all the diseases. So just remember these two things: fat soluble ADEK and water soluble. It is B complex B1, B2, B3, B5, B6, 9, B and B12 and vitamin C. And all these vitamins have a different name, okay, different chemical name for it. So these are some pictures I have just included for you to show some fat soluble vitamins. These carrot, definitely we know vitamin A. Yes, so they are rich in carbohydrates as well. All right, it is not only the vitamin A, they are also rich in carbohydrates. See how they are interrelated. One particular food item, doesn't have only the vitamin, it also have another kind of nutrients present in it. And here cauliflower, broccoli like leaves. Yes, leaves and flowers of the plant in the previous lesson we have learned. So it doesn't have only the food particle that we are consuming in, it has many nutritive particle, and that is the reason we are just consuming different types of food. All right, let's see what are some fat soluble and water soluble vitamins here. So ADEK, I have discussed this one already, right? So vitamin A, here it just helps us in vision, reproduction, bone health, immune system, and skin. And some items given in the picture like carrot and most of the greens like fishes, all these things contain with fat soluble vitamin A. And also for D, if you're gonna check out the D, mostly they will say it is rich in sunlight. If you're gonna just have a walk or stand in the sunlight, our skin has an ability to absorb vitamin D through sunlight. Okay, also egg has vitamin D also, because protein, we also did learn about it, right? So these are some milk. It is a very rich source of vitamin D. And coming on to vitamin E, we can see some pictures over there like avocado, nuts. All these are given, and we will see the functions of it little later. It helps in immune system, flushes toxins and cells like which is not required by the body, which has to be taken out. And then vitamin K, where most of like green vegetables, broccoli, okay, leafy vegetables contain more amount of vitamin K. It helps in clotting of the blood as well as for the bone health. Now coming on here, like you can just see some water soluble vitamins which is given here. Can you see this? Like vitamin B1 till B12 and C. As I told you, they have a different name, okay, like a chemical name. Vitamin B1 is called thiamine, B2 is riboflavin, B3 niacin, B5 pantothenic acid, B6 pyridoxine, B7 biotin, B9 folate, B12 cobalamin, and vitamin C, it is called as ascorbic acid. Okay, also now Vitamin C is sensitive to heat and light. Therefore, foods rich in vitamin C should not be cooked but eaten raw. Okay, so most of the vitamin C rich food we will not consume by cooking it. Most of the cases, like mostly we can see in the citrus fruits, right? Citrus fruits, amla, I mean like gooseberry, all these are rich sources of vitamin C. Mostly it will be like fruits. So definitely there is no need for us to cook as they are sensitive to heat. But here certain cases we have to just think about it, like lemon. Yes, sometimes we are so not sometimes, most of the time we are just using it for cooking purpose. So here there is some specificity which we are learning. You can just try doing it. So they are sensitive to heat and light. It is always suggested to eat vitamin C as raw. The next nutrient, micronutrient we're going to discuss is about minerals. Minerals are micronutrients that are required for formation of bones, teeth, and regulating heartbeat. These are some major functions of the minerals present in the body. Minerals are categorized into two major categories like macrominerals and microminerals, just like the nutrients, micronutrients and macronutrients, right, depending upon the necessity of the body. So here even the minerals are also depending upon the necessity of the body, categorized into two major categories like macrominerals and microminerals. So let us see what are the macro minerals. Calcium, phosphorus, and magnesium. These are considered as macro minerals which are required more in amount when compared to the other one. Okay, these are under like micronutrients, but they are required more in amount when compared to that of mineral categories. These are required comparatively large quantities ranging from milligrams to grams. Okay, next micro minerals. What are the microminerals? Copper, chromium, and selenium. These are required very less in quantity. So see how much it is required. These are required in quantities ranging from micrograms to milligrams. Okay, like micrograms and milligrams. This is a very less quantity actually. All right. So this is the amount required by the whole body itself. So the this is the reason they are distinguished like macro and micro minerals depending upon their requirements. See what are some sources of minerals. Minerals are found in milk, curd, meat, beans, and leafy vegetables such as spinach in specific. So this is a picture for you to show that fruits and vegetables are rich in minerals. As I told you, nutrients are the products that are not found only in one particular item. It is distributed depending upon the quantity. All right, we are just naming it as minerals and vitamins. Next, so what do you understand from this picture? Can you see some alphabet here? See, CaClCu. Yes, so these are the minerals and these are the symbols of the mineral, how they are represented. Okay, so Ca, it is calcium. Okay, Cl, it is chlorine, copper, iron, Fe, iron. Okay, I, iodine, K, potassium, Mg, magnesium, Mn, manganese, Na, sodium, P, phosphorus, Se, selenium, Z, and zinc. These are some major, okay, minerals present in a body which is required either in macro or in micro level for the proper utilization of the body. Okay, and these are some pictures I have just added for you to see. So this is how the minerals help our body. Like here I have just included like leafy vegetables, meat, all these are rich in minerals as well. Not only the fruits and vegetables, okay, even the other part of the food like meat, it is also rich in minerals. So all the food we have to consume in a proper amount. Nothing should be taken too much and nothing should be reduced or taken out from a daily diet. All right, discuss about a very important thing which is called as dietary fibers. So what are these dietary fibers? Dietary fibers is a part of the plant food that is not digested or absorbed to produce energy. So the food that we intake also contains the particles which cannot be absorbed by the body and that cannot be assimilated to different body parts. Yes. So what happens to these food particles? It has to be eliminated in the form of feces on day-to-day basis. Yes, we are excreting, right, the waste products. Along with it, all these things will just pull out from the body. So dietary fiber is also known as roughage, the alternate name which is given for this. So any insoluble things in a body is removed in the form of dietary fiber. Actually, this is very essential for the body as it is helpful in the prevention of obesity and constipation. So, as it removes the unwanted particles present in the body, okay, which all these particles comes out in the feces. So, it helps in prevention of obesity. So, overweight it cannot happen if you're gonna take proper amount of fiber-rich foods. All right, and also constipation will be avoided. So on day-to-day basis you should have a proper bowel movements. Yes, so if it doesn't happen, definitely some kind of problem will be there in the body. So in order to get rid of all these problems, it is better to have more amount of food and fiber rich food included in our diet, so we can just avoid the obesity, the condition obesity, as well as constipation. And then the whole grains, pulses, potatoes with skin. Okay, these are some sources. All right, so potatoes, not only the potatoes with not the peeled off potatoes, okay, that is which is very tasty for us to fry and eat. It is not that. We have to take the potatoes with skin. Beans, fresh fruits, and oats are the main sources of roughage. So if we're going to concentrate these food items, definitely it will just help us to avoid obesity as well as the constipation process, and this overall is called as roughage. All right, another important thing which is required by the body is water. Yes, water, it is much more required by the body. Without water nothing is possible. So here, so let us see how it is helpful. Water helps our body to absorb nutrients from the food. Water dissolves the nutrients and transports to all parts of the body. So here, water, as we take in more amount of water, the nutrients, whatever we are taking in the form of like solid part or the fluid part, it gets mixed with the water, and thus it helps in dissolving in it, where it becomes a very easy part, so that the body can just absorb into the capillaries. Okay, these are like blood vessels where which will transport the nutrients to different parts of the body. So that is how it helps in absorbing the food particles. When it is in the form of liquid, it is very easy to happen. So thus the water plays a major role in transportation as well. Next, water helps in throwing out some waste from the body in the form of urine and sweat. Excess loss of water from the body leads to a condition called dehydration. We might have heard this term. Okay, my body is dehydrated, I need some water. Some used to say this, right? So in order to avoid dehydration, we have to take more amount of liquid or water. Even in hospitals they will give like ORS solution. Yes, so when the body is whenever someone is suffering from like a diarrhea or vomit, they will give this kind of solution in order to hydrate the body. More amount of water, sufficient amount of water is required by the body. So we also excrete water. Okay, it helps us to excrete the waste products in the form of urine and sweat. So whenever we urinate, okay, we also just need to note how many times we urinate. It should be like frequent times, like at least like 5 to 6 times in a day. Else if it is very less or if it is very frequent also, we should be aware of what is happening in our body and get in touch with a doctor. It is also same for sweat as well. Next, WHO. What is this WHO? It is World Health Organization recommends that an adult should consume around 1.5 liters of water. Okay, you should consume 1.5, 1.5 liters of water per day. Else, you have to take 2 to 3 liters of fluids every day to maintain adequate supply. Okay, either this one has to be compensated. If it is only like a water, 1.5 liters we have to take in. Apart from that, if you're not taking 1.5 liters, and if you are addicted to take some kind of juice or liquids or fluids or in the form of food, like 2 to 3 liters it has to be taken on daily basis. Water could be sourced through water, juice, milk, soup, fruits, or vegetables. Okay, we might think, how come fruit? How come vegetables? Yes. So whenever you just chew it, you can just feel the fluid or the watery thing coming out from the fruits. That is how we make it as juice. Yes, like orange juice or apple juice or mango juice, they all contain water. Watermelon, it's the best example. Yes, it just quenches the thirst. So these are some sources of water where the water can be added on to our daily nutritive part. We know what are nutrients. Yes, like micronutrients and macronutrients. And now we need to understand how these nutrients are to be balanced in our body. We cannot take more amount of nutrients, okay? More amount of carbohydrates, or more amount of protein. Just I need more amount of muscles or more amount of energy I need. We cannot just concentrate on one particular nutritive part, okay? That will not help our body in either developing it, okay? It will just lead to some kind of conditions. Okay, so anything that we eat should be of in a balanced level. Okay, it should not be more or it should not be very less. Okay, it should not lack as well. So let us see how this balanced diet will help us. Let's see what this balanced diet is all about. A balanced diet is a diet that contains adequate amount, that is a sufficient amount of macronutrients along with micronutrients and water to maintain good health. Okay, so macronutrients, micronutrients, overall the nutrients along with the water. So all these things together we comprise them under the term called balanced diet. One can eat balanced diet without expensive food material. We might think, oh my god, if I have to, like some might will go for workout, yes, in a gym or in any particular places, they will just give out some kind of diet on daily basis. So we will be thinking, oh my god, I have to purchase this, I have to get this, it is not available in my place, or this is too much costly. So it is not like that at all. The diet whatever we are consuming on day to day basis, it is not that expensive if we are having a proper food item. All right, I should plan it accordingly. Food should be cooked in such a way that the nutrients are not lost. So, in certain categories, the nutritionist will say you should not cook all the food item to the core. Okay, so like half cooked vegetables, all these things, it is really good for health. So, when you cook the vegetables for a very longer time, it will lose all its nutritive part. Okay, so vegetables and fruits should not be washed after cutting or peeling them. Even when you wash the vegetables after cutting it, there are possibilities of losing all the vitamins. So always just make sure before you cut the vegetables or before you cut the fruits, you have to wash it. Okay, because certain vegetables we have it along with the skin, and certain things we will just peel it off. So after peeling, you should not wash. Before peeling, you can wash, and before cutting, you can wash them. So these are some pictures I have just added on for you to look on the balanced diet. In a balanced diet, see everything is over there. Okay, like fruits are there. So fruits are rich in minerals and vitamins. Okay, meat is there. So fats, proteins are all included in nuts. So here the proteins, fats are also included, like vegetables, carbohydrates. All these things are included, and these things should be planned and taken on daily basis. Okay, nothing should be avoided. If anything gonna be avoided, it will just lead to a condition called deficiency disease. We will just look onto it later. All right. Now let us see about deficiency disease. Deficiency is like lacking. Okay, so lacking of certain items will lead to diseases. So diseases that occur due to lack of nutrients over a long period of time is called deficiency disease. Okay, so some people they might not be able to afford certain kind of food, where some foods are rich in certain vitamins or minerals or some carbohydrate content. All right, like proteins, but in certain categories some material, some food item will not be available in that particular place though they are able to afford. Okay, so it depends upon the material food item that is available in place, or whether they are able to afford, or whether they like it or not. Some people they will just avoid egg, some people they avoid completely curd, but if they're going to avoid some kind of food like this, they have to take the food alternate. What are the alternates that can be taken instead of curd? We have to just balance it. Okay, nothing could be avoided just like that. If it is going to be avoided, some kind of nutrients will be lacking in our body. So that is the reason these deficiency diseases are caused. So deficiency of carbohydrates. So let us see one by one. Lack of enough carbohydrates from the diet of people performing high physical activity lead to weakness and lack of stamina. So what happens, definitely from the term itself we can identify carbohydrates, it gives more amount of energy. Yes. So if you're gonna avoid the carbohydrates, or if you're not taking more amount of carbohydrates depending upon the physical exercise, for example, if we are just working more physically, okay, and if you're not taking proper amount of carbohydrate rich food, it will lead to weakness and there will be no stamina for us to do any work. Next, deficiency of proteins. Protein deficiency in the body leads to the disease such as kwashiorkor and marasmus. These two diseases are discussed over here. Okay, just look at the term here. It is not that very hard. Just repeat along with me, like kwashiorkor, marasmus. Okay, and there are some symptoms to identify this kwashiorkor. Let's see. Fatigue, irritability, diarrhea, swollen belly, and slower than mental and physical growth. Okay, so generally the body will look different. Okay, a swollen belly will be seen. Okay, I can just show you a picture of it. See, can you see the kwashiorkor over here? See how the child is identified. A swollen belly is seen. Okay, and mostly they will be little tired and kind of irritability sensations, as well as diarrhea. More diarrhea will be there, frequently they'll have to go, and also their mental and physical growth will be very slower. Okay. Symptoms of marasmus. See here, the picture I have included even for this. It affects babies and children. The symptoms is like weak legs. Okay, from body itself we can identify the legs are weak, slow body growth, lack of energy, mental retardation, loss of appetite, and poor muscle development. See, the muscles are not at all developed over here. It just looks like a stick. So here all the ribs can be seen literally outside. Okay, the muscles not at all developed, and here even the child will be mentally retarded. They will not be able to just think as a normal child. They are mentally retarded. Their mental growth is less, as well as they lack energy. They will be always looking very tired as well. So these are some symptoms of these two diseases where they lack proteins as well as carbohydrates. All right, like the once again I'll repeat the name. It's kwashiorkor and marasmus. Here, let us discuss a tabular column from your textbook. It shows the disorders caused by the deficiency of vitamins and minerals. Okay, so here some vitamins and minerals are included. Let me just try to chart out like what are the fat soluble and water soluble. Vitamin A and vitamin D comes under fat soluble, and vitamin B1 and vitamin C comes under water soluble vitamins. Okay, so only very few are discussed here. I have just added some more. So iodine, iron, calcium, all these things come under what? Minerals. All right. So deficiency of this vitamin A causes loss of vision. Okay, loss of vision in sense mostly like night blindness happens. Poor vision, loss of vision in the darkness. Night blindness means as it becomes dark in the evening they will lose vision. It will not be very clear. Sometimes complete loss of vision also can happen. So that is the reason we are asked to take more amount of vitamin A rich food. So in the next chart I have just included what are the food items that can be taken for vitamin A deficit. Vitamin B1, the disease or the condition is called as a beriberi, weak muscles and very little energy to work. Vitamin C, scurvy, bleeding gums, wounds take longer time to heal. Bleeding gums in sense, the gums are the place where the teeth are attached, the pink region in your mouth, okay, just above the teeth, those are the gums, so those places will bleed. You can just look all these things for the advertisement, toothpaste advertisement. Yes, bleeding gums. Vitamin D, rickets, bones become soft and bent. Okay, so the legs will be bent just like a bow. Okay, like bow and arrow, you might have seen just like a bow, the bones will be bent if you're not taking proper amount of vitamin. Mostly it is seen in children like rickets. Calcium, bone and tooth decay. Okay, so if there is deficit of calcium, no proper amount of calcium is taken, the bone will be weakened and tooth it gets decayed very easily. Weak bones, tooth gets decayed. Iodine, Goiter. So lack of iodine leads to a condition called goiter. The throat will be protruded out. Okay, you might have seen some person where the throat is protruded out. Glands in the neck appear swollen. Mental disability in children. Iron. So lack of iron, this is a very common condition seen in many of the people today here. Yes. So it is called as anemia. And the patient is anemic. Okay. It generally leads to weakness in the body. They will not be able to work as the other human being. They will just be very tired if they're going to do very little amount of work. See, look at this slide here. I have just categorized as fat soluble vitamins separately: vitamin A, D, E, and K. Okay, A, D, E, K. So the sources: carrots, orange, green vegetables, sources of vitamin A. Okay, and what are the functions? Helps in maintaining healthy skin. Okay, night vision, normal development of bones and teeth. And the disease caused is like night blindness, impaired vision, dim and dryness of eyes. Okay, these are the symptoms. Vitamin D, egg yolk, sea fish, liver. So just go through this particular chart so that you can have the proper amount of the food included in your diet. Helps in the formation of bones and teeth. Rickets in children, as we already discussed, and osteomalgia in adults. Okay, softened and deformed bones can easily get fractured. So if it is going to be very weak, what happens when we fall itself? Definitely the bones will get fractured. Vitamin E, peanuts, almonds, sunflower oil. Okay, mostly we all like peanuts. We are just taking in a daily food. Almonds, sunflower oil, it's included in our diet. So it improves the functioning of the reproductive system and formation of red blood cells. So in order to reproduce, this particular vitamin E is very helpful. Okay, it is helpful for fertility process, and also it just causes nerve damage. Okay, when it lacks. Also hair loss, muscle weakness, leg cramps, all these things are the symptoms which is seen when we lack vitamin E in our body. Vitamin K. So green, mostly vitamin K, it is green leafy vegetables, and here aids in blood clotting, to stop bleeding. For example, if some person, okay, if they're gonna get hurt, the blood will bleed and it will not stop at all immediately. So that particular condition we can just identify there is some kind of malfunction seen in their body. Okay, when we're gonna check if they're gonna lack like vitamin K, definitely it is because of this uncontrolled bleeding and easy bruising. So the condition which is called as hemorrhage. We will discuss about the water soluble vitamins. All right, it's just a brush up over here. Like water soluble vitamins, here we can just see what are the water soluble. There are many water soluble we did see. Here some major things are included: vitamin B1, vitamin B2, vitamin B12, vitamin C. And do you all remember the alternate name for this, like vitamin B1 thiamine? Yes, you can just have a recap of seeing this video again if you want to have a brush up on it. Okay, so you just remember as vitamin B1 as well. Rich sources of food are like yeast, meat, eggs, and the main functions are like conversion of carbohydrates into energy. Okay, so these plays a vital role where the carbohydrates that we intake, it is converted in the form of energy. And then deficiency disease caused, which is called as beriberi. So what is this beriberi? The symptoms are like decreased appetite, okay, nerve inflammation, irregular functioning of the heart. So the nerves will get inflamed. Okay, so apart from that, the irregular functioning of heart will not function properly. Some irregularities will be seen in the heartbeat. All right, then vitamin B2, eggs, milk. So most of the things are repeated here. Can you see that? So that is how I'm just coming on to the same frame, that nutrients are present in all the food items but in different quantities. Milk products, green leafy vegetables. And here the main functions for this are like formation of tissue and keeping the skin and mouth healthy. All right, so in order to keep your skin unhealthy, what is that you have to take? Vitamin B2. So, skin related disorders are caused by this lack of vitamin. Skin disorders, this is a deficiency. Cracked lips, throat, swelling, bloodshot eyes, all these things are the symptoms that is seen because they lack vitamin B2. So just make sure that you have more amount of these food particles included in your diet. Vitamin B12, okay, fish, dairy products, okay, like milk products. Formation of red blood cells. Red blood cells is very important in a body, which helps in carrying the oxygen to different parts of the body. So as it carries a different oxygen to different parts of the body, okay, if it is not producing in proper amount, the condition is called as anemia is caused. Okay, some symptoms are weight loss, tiredness, irritability. So it is always best to have more amount of B12 included in your food diet. All right, so that you can avoid the condition anemia. Vitamin C. Most of the citrus fruits. What are the citrus fruits? Lemon, orange, sweet lime. All these are citrus fruits. Sprouts, potatoes. So just take more amount of these juices included in your diet. You will be rich in vitamin. You will be rich. You will have more amount of vitamin C in your body. And the deficiency disease here seen is like scurvy. Okay, red spots on the skin, bleeding gums, loss of teeth, poor healing, and wounds. So anything that is related with your mouth over here, bleeding gums, or for any kind of disorders towards the teeth, you can just identify that you lack vitamin C. Here in this slide, I have just included the disease caused by the deficiency of minerals. Okay, it's like a huge chart where you can just identify what are the macro and micro minerals involved here. Like macro minerals, it's segregated, and micro minerals also segregated. Some minerals which is given here are like sodium, potassium, calcium, we already discussed. Magnesium, iron, phosphorus, all these things come under macro minerals. So these are some rich sources where these minerals are obtained, like bananas, tomatoes. Okay, all these things we just have it in our food, but just make sure that you have the proper amount of food that is taken in. Okay, and like sodium, if you're gonna lack, main function of sodium is like proper functioning of muscles, nerves, maintaining water level in our body, as well as like proper functioning of the heart. And for calcium, formation of bones, teeth, help in clotting of blood also. Here it can be just interrelated with vitamin K. Yes. Also, here for magnesium, the main function is the formation of bones, and it's see how everything is interrelated. So everything has to be taken in proper amount. Formation of red blood cells, iron, and then proper functioning of muscles and nerves in the case of phosphorus. So some deficiency diseases caused by the lack of sodium are hyponatremia. Okay, so the symptoms are like it will cause some nausea condition, okay, giddiness, vomiting, headache. And potassium, if you're going to lack potassium, it is called as hypokalemia. So the symptoms are abnormal heartbeat, constipation, muscle weakness. Calcium, osteoporosis in adults. Okay, many adult people will say knee pain, neck pain, all these things are caused by the deficit of calcium. Rickets in children, brittle bones, okay, where it is very easy to break. Magnesium, okay, and the deficiency disease here we just call them as hypomagnesemia. Then the symptoms which is seen here is fatigue, loss of appetite. And then the next condition, next mineral, iron, where it helps in the formation of red blood cells. Likewise, it is very easy to identify. The condition is called as anemia, and this is already discussed here. Fatigue, dizziness, loss of hair, brittle nails, all these are the symptoms of the lack of iron in our body. Phosphorus, meat, fish, eggs, all these items are included here. And proper as we discussed already, rickets in children. See, it is interrelated again here. Calcium with phosphorus, rickets, weakening of bones, weight loss, retarded nervous system. All these are the symptoms of lacking phosphorus. Now coming on to the micronutrients, copper, iodine, manganese, zinc. Okay, so copper, like seafood items, mushroom, cashew nuts, where it is also related to the bone related issues. Okay, so here it is also leads to a condition of anemia. Yes, it is interrelating with the iron. So the symptoms is also interrelated, like loss of hair, irregular heartbeat. And coming on to the iodine, the condition is called as goiter, which is seen as an enlargement of thyroid gland. So retarded physical and mental growth is seen over here. Manganese, the condition is called as like osteoporosis. And if you're gonna take like tea, coffee, nuts, okay, this is also good in the formation of bone. Slow growth, skeletal abnormalities are shown as a symptoms. Zinc. And here it's like chicken, peanuts, pulses, and all these things, zinc is present. Okay, it helps in the growth and development and fights off diseases, so this is required in micro level. And retarded growth is a deficiency disease seen here, and the symptoms seen are like diarrhea and pneumonia, okay, especially in children they have marked. So this is all about minerals. You might have understood this lesson, and here let us have a short recap of whatever we have learned. Okay, in this lesson we did discussed about the nutrients, what are nutrients, okay, and the major two types of nutrients, macronutrients and micronutrients. Under the macronutrients we discussed about carbohydrates, fats and proteins, and micronutrients like minerals and vitamins. So here these are the major nutrients we discussed: carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, minerals, and water and dietary fiber. Okay, how the water helps in processing all these nutrients into the body, as well as the dietary fiber, how it helps in eliminating the waste products. Next, we also did see about the balanced diet. Okay, how the food has to be taken in a balanced form, so that we will not have any kind of deficiency disease in our body. All the food items with the proper, all the nutrients with the proper quantity should be present in our body. Next, we did see about the deficiency disease. What if there is no balanced diet seen in our body? The consequences are like deficiency disease. So, different types of deficiency disease we discussed about. What if causes the lack of carbohydrates and proteins, like kwashiorkor and marasmus, as well as many vitamin deficiency and mineral deficiency also we did see. Yes. So here, if you have any doubts on this, you can just ping me. All right. Hope everyone understands the lesson. Thank you.